Hey everybody, so I'm going to go a little fast to start off. So I'm using my Kiara Sky Stiletto C-Curve nail tips. To apply those, I'm using my Young Nails brush on nail glue. I am using my Young Nails Greg Signature acrylic brush. This is the size 12. My primer and dehydrator today are from Beauty Pure. I'm using the iGel Beauty Acrylic Monomer with the Kiara Sky Scented Monomer drops in Lavender. The acrylics I'm using are Beauty Pure's Cover Acrylic in Prettiest Pink, Not Polished Clear Acrylic, Chisel Cloud, the Florida collection number 43, and I'm using 3 Young Nails glitters in Cactus Arms, Vicious Caterpillar, and Crypto. So now that all that is out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and start off this set. I already have my nail tips glued. These stilettos I feel like are the shortest of the XXL nail tips that Kiara Sky offers, so I don't actually cut down the length of the tips at all. I just apply them and go right on in to my application. I did go and apply the primer and dehydrator, and now on my thumb I am applying that Beauty Pure Prettiest Pink all over the entire nail bed, starting from the tip and working my way back to the cuticle. Today I'm going to be doing my first fall nail set. I really love fall. It's my favorite season. I know that's kind of cliche. Lots of people love fall, but Halloween's my favorite holiday. I love fall colors. The weather is perfect, and I like all the different activities that come with fall, like apple picking, pumpkin picking, things like that. So this is my favorite, and I get really excited this time of year. I decided to start off with a deep green set. Fall really has lots of like rich, deep colors. You also have, I don't want to call them muted colors, but they're more like cool tone dusty colors almost. So you'll see those like cloudy greens as well, or cloudy blues, like steel blues. They're not necessarily those like vibrant rich colors you see in the summer. They just give more of that cozy feel, and I love that. So I decided to start off with green today. Whenever I do a colored acrylic, or really any acrylic, because I do this with my nudes as well, I do go in and apply a thin layer of clear to my nail bed. You guys have seen me do this in past videos. The main reason I do this is because I change my nails out so often. It's just easier. It helps prevent staining. It helps me when I am filing my nails down, because I do not soak off. I do a file off removal no matter what products I'm using, whether it's acrylic, gel, poly gel, different things like that. I use the same removal. It's just what works for me. But because I do a file off, I prefer to have a thin layer of clear or even a nude on my natural nail to help me. It just acts as a barrier to try to prevent me from over filing my natural nails, because you can do frequent file offs on your natural nails without damaging them. You just want to make sure you have a barrier so you're not actually going on top of your natural nail with a sanding band or carbide bit like constantly, because that'll thin your nail out over time. So this just helps keep your nails healthy, so that you're not adding any damage. So yeah, once I have that, I do go in with my color. I'm using on my pointer finger a full nail of the Chisel Cloud Florida collection acrylic. Whenever I do colored acrylic, no matter what color it is and whether or not it has glitter or mica particles in it, I do go in and cap it in clear. It's just helpful. The colored acrylics are not necessarily the strongest acrylics because of how much pigment is in them, so the clear adds strength. Also, if you're in a salon setting, clear is a lot cheaper typically, so you save money by using just thin layers of your colored acrylic and then going in with your clear. Also, sometimes because of the pigment and the things that get added into the acrylic, if you are using certain brands or types of colored acrylic, they dry a lot differently. So sometimes they dry really slow, and adding the clear layer does help just make it easier so that you can go in and file a lot sooner, because you don't have to wait for that extra drying time. For my middle finger, I am going in and kind of doing an ombre in a way. I'm gonna add some glitter to it, but I am going to do a full base of that glitter, or sorry, the green acrylic first. I do very small beads. Colored acrylic picks up a lot differently than your nudes and your clear, so for me, I find it's harder to get large beads with it just because of the pigment powder in it, but I do small beads and thin layers. So I just work all the way back, and then I'm gonna add my glitter and kind of fade it in on top. Once the base layer is down, I'm going in with some clear, and I'm using that almost as like the glue for my glitter. I am going in and just picking up all three of those glitters, going from the chunkiest to the thinnest. I actually think I had this backwards. I think it's easier to go from thinnest to chunkiest, just to make sure that it sticks well, and it gives a better effect having the chunkier glitters over top. But I think I just mixed it up when I was applying it with this nail. But I do try to do a fade, so I mix all three of those glitters together on the nail, adding more clear as I need. And then for the area towards my cuticle, I do the thinnest or smallest particle of glitter. I find that that gives you the most like transitioned look with your glitter ombres. So if you are using like multi sizes or shapes of glitter, go for the one that's the smallest. It's just going to give you more of that like soft transition. And then obviously once that is applied, you want to make sure that the glue or the acrylic that you're using is dry so that the glitter doesn't move, and then you go ahead and cap it in clear. I do the same method for all of my nails, so just working from the tip all the way back to the cuticle, checking my sides, checking my apex as I go back, because again, the clear is going to be my strength, so that is really what I want to make sure is like perfected in the application, because that is what is going to help make sure that my nail doesn't break as I wear it. But yeah, just taking small beads. You don't have to rush this process, especially when you're encapsulating. You do want to make sure that you are using a little bit more wet beads, mainly because you want it to help prevent with bubbling, but you also want it to kind of fall into all the cracks and crevices of the glitters so that you don't get any air pockets, and that way you have like a very structured nail. If you use a drier bead, it will kind of lay on top of the glitter, and if there's any areas where the glitter is kind of sticking up or kind of creating a little gap, you're gonna have an empty like air pocket in your nail. So it's just helpful to use a little bit wetter of a bead than you're used to when you're encapsulating. And for my ring finger, I'm going in with my green acrylic again. This one is going to be a true ombre, so I am going to apply this slightly over halfway. It depends on what look you go for. Some people kind of start their ombres at different sections of the nail, but I go, generally speaking, slightly over halfway, and then I go in with my nude. I did use my Prettiest pink acrylic a little bit too wet when I started my ombre, so you can see it doesn't fully cover when I initially go in. I will fix that as I go. I just add more of the nude acrylic to just fix that blend and just give it a little bit more of a smoother transition. But you can definitely, when you're doing your ombres, you can start working thinner, but try to make sure that you are going a little bit more on the dry side so that you're not thinning out that color too much at the ombre line, because you want to be able to cover where that first color was placed so that you can actually get the ombre effect. But yeah, I do this. I will go back in a little bit later and add a little bit more nude if I find that I didn't build it up enough when I'm going in and applying my clear. I actually go back over with the nude instead of applying clear because it just gives me a little bit more coverage. So I do kind of switch back and forth when I'm doing ombre nails, if I'm just trying to make sure that my blend is the way I want it to be. But once I'm done with the ombre with the nude, I do go in with the glitters. I find it's easier to ombre over a like flat acrylic versus one that has glitter or raw glitter like I'm using now, just because you get those peaks and valleys of where the glitter is placed. So I do my ombre first, and then I go in and apply my glitter. Then I go in and cap it all with clear to protect the ombre as well as the glitter that I applied. Once that is all done, I go ahead and I apply my nude to my pinky. I am doing a full nude nail on this, so I apply it same way I do the rest. Go from the tip of my nail and work back to the cuticle. You don't have to cap your nudes. I don't know if I've said that before. Some people might, but it's really not necessary. Nudes pretty much have about the same strength as a clear, so you don't need to worry about adding any extra strength. So for myself, I just go in with that nude acrylic and just apply it like I normally would, making sure that my apex is where I want it to be, trying to keep my sides clean so that I don't have a lot of excess filing to do at the end. Once all that acrylic has dried and I have filed my nails into shape, I go ahead and I top coat on the middle 3 nails using, this is the Nail Supply Glamour top coat. It seemed like it had maybe dried up a little bit and got a little thick, so I don't use this for my other fingers, but I just went ahead and applied it to this since I didn't want to remove it once I started. I'm not adding any extra stuff to these nails because they're already pretty blingy with all the glitter in them, and I feel like that just kind of needs its moment to shine. So I'm just applying this glossy top coat on top and curing that fully before moving on and adding the couple little charms that I'm gonna do, which I use my Makartt nail rhinestone glue. I don't love this one, like it's not my favorite because it's a little almost loose, like it doesn't really hold charms in place really well. It is a little thinner consistency than I like for a rhinestone glue, but I am trying to use it up, and for really small charms like the one I'm using, it's not really a huge deal. It's just with bigger charms that you really want to make sure they stay in place where you put them. It's really a little tricky to use for that, but for this it works out fine. So I apply a little dollop to the center of my nail, and then I go in with this little star gold charm and I apply that right on top, making sure that I'm looking at all angles to make sure that it is straight, especially on my thumb. My thumbnails are so crooked and just kind of wonky shaped, so I try to make sure it's as straight as I can get it. And then because this is a very small charm, it's very thin, you're not really gonna need to worry about trying to top coat around it. So I seal it in with my top coat, and I am using my Kiara Sky no wipe top coat for this, and I'm just applying it all over the entire nail. Once you're done with that, that is it for this look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. If there's other fall colors or sets or trends that you'd like me to do, let me know that as well. Definitely subscribe to my channel to check out any future videos. You can check out my videos in the cards above or go to my channel to see any past ones. I have loads of different tutorials and videos that I have done so far. It really means a lot when you guys subscribe, so I appreciate each and every one of you. Let me know as well if there's other things that you would like to see from me. My main focus and my fun comes from tutorials, but if there's other things you'd like to see me do, let me know so I can try to incorporate some of that. Other than that, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day wherever you are, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye everybody.